Hi guys, and thanks for joining me again for the beginning of the end as I wrap up my strategy guide on Bloons Super Monkey. That's right, we're talking Wave 5, Stage 1. Okay, so by this point you really should have the tri-laser beams at least in your upgrades. If you haven't got it, then you're a complete pussy. You probably suck at this game. It's quite likely you haven't been able to score gold medals all the way through if you haven't got enough points to have gotten to this upgrade yet. In which case, you might as well restart because your score is going to suck basically. From now on, you need to focus on just literally blowing up everything you can as quickly as you can. There are a shit ton of balloons that appear throughout all of Stage 5, and you need to learn the patterns in order to maximize the amount of points you can get. Now, another trick to scoring very high points is to not spend your power blobs as you progress through Stage 5. That does mean that you won't be able to buy the other cool upgrades like the Moab missiles and the Sun God tentacles, but ultimately if you've got the Tri-Beam laser, personally I'd say you don't really need them. As you can see here, I'm absolutely kicking the shit out of the target pops rating. I've gone well into gold. I'm 2,500 points over almost, and there's still a good 20 odd seconds to go of this level. Now, it's true that if you have the top level of the laser beam, you can actually just completely blast through several layers of the balloons, but personally, I don't bother. So now we're on to the penultimate wave. That's right, I'm talking about Stage 5, Wave 2. This level is batshit crazy. There are balloons flying all over the place. And to be honest with you, if you don't have the Moab missiles by this point, you're probably going to miss more than your fair share. Which is why I upgrade to the quad Moab missiles as soon as possible. Now, you can argue whether or not you're going to upgrade to the tentacles, just like you could have argued in the last stage about leveling up the tentacles. Personally, I probably would do it myself, depending on how well I've scored with power blobs going up to this point. As you can see, it makes a fair bit of difference in terms of being able to rip things apart as you hover over them. And on the last level, it comes in really, really handy. But for those of you who are trying to go for those truly high scores, you might want to do your very best to just stick on top of the balloons instead, so that you don't have to spend your blobs. As you can see, it's not too difficult to maintain a completely clear screen on this level. The balloons come in and you rip them apart with your high level upgrades. The trouble really starts, as you can see now, when there's just too much on your screen to be able to be focusing on everything at once. Even the most hardened shelled balloons don't prove to be much of a problem as long as there aren't too many of them. The real bitch is when your screen just fills up with things flashing past you faster than the speed of light. Scoring gold on this level really shouldn't be a problem. You should be able to do it very, very easily as long as you haven't denied yourself upgrades up until this point. That's pretty much all there is to say about Stage 5 Wave 2. I'll see you for the final part in one moment. So it's been a long ride, folks, but we're finally there. Stage 5, Wave 3, the ultimate level of Bloons Super Monkey! As you can probably expect, this is one of the longest levels in the game, and it contains a shit ton of heavily armoured balloons. Literally, you've got to do your best to maximise your points. It really is all about affecting your final score here. Try not to spend any blops on upgrades at all. You'll see that I do in a little while, but actually my score at the end of this level is pretty shitty, so I wouldn't recommend going that route. The best thing to do now is to take down as many balloons as you can, collect as many blops as you possibly can, and just move ahead as a badass motherfucker, showing everybody what a ridiculously high score you're able to get. As long as you've already got the laser and Moab missile upgrades, destroying balloons on this level shouldn't be a problem. The biggest problem you're going to have, just as with all the other Stage 5 levels, is that there's just going to be too many balloons for you to be able to pop them all at once. You're just not going to be able to reach them. Even here, where I'm doing pretty well at ripping apart shit tons of balloons, you can see that pretty quickly I become overwhelmed. And actually dancing around the screen like I've chosen to do here may not necessarily be the best tactic when it comes to maximising the amount of blobs that I'm able to pick up in the space of time that I have. As you can see here, they start exploding from the bottom part of the screen, and actually throughout this entire level, the balloons just go completely apeshit. This is one of the longest levels in the game, but if you've made it this far, you're almost pretty much guaranteed to be able to do it. So just sit back, relax, and blow the shit out of those motherfucking balloons. There you go. Gold achieved very, very easily. There's still about 45 seconds to a minute left of this level, and I am racking in the points. This is literally your chance to be a complete and utter point whore. If you want to score a high score, not just a gold medal run, but you want to be in the top 10 for the day, this is the place to do it. Take down the patterns as best you can, learn where things are going to be coming in from and when, and just nuke the shit out of everything. If you're on a slow computer, well, an older computer, one that's perhaps only has a couple of processors, maybe an old 200 odd megabyte graphics card, you're probably going to struggle with this a little bit. Things will slow down quite considerably, which in some ways makes it easier, but in some ways makes it a lot harder because the level will last for fucking ages. Still, when you finally beat it, it feels good. There's no plot as such. I'm still not sure what the balloons are all about, why we had to destroy them, but at least now you can rest safe that Super Monkey has saved the day.